Hi, I'm James from Ribeye Boats. On this video, I'm stood next to one of our most recent tender projects. This is a 6.2 meter jet full SOLAS certified tender. One of the requirements here was to build it to 1900 kilos in full man overboard status. This is part of a pair of tenders that are going on at Heesen. This is the SOLAS kind of crew water sports tender, and then we've got a larger beachlander tender in build, which you'll see in another video. Before I give you a walk through the interior of this tender, I just wanted to point out the hull form. When we were making our jet tender range, it was really important to us that we stuck to that Ribeye DNA of making an incredible sea boat. So this is based on our high volume deep V hull architecture. Means it's incredibly smooth and dry riding when you're carrying guests on board, and incredibly capable as well in pretty much any sea state. We've also added this new feature where we've actually cut the central tow eye into the hull. So if you're towing it, you know, it's absolutely super strong, really reliable. You can see the drain there from the anchor locker. So yeah, again, really high volume hull, very capable. I'm now going to jump on board and take you through the interior. So I'm now on board the tender. Right, from valuable client feedback, working with so many captains and crew, we understand, you know, how our tenders are used, and often our tenders are very much the workhorse of the tender fleet, being a really capable sea boat and being very versatile. So as I go through the tender, you'll note that every single attachment, be it a cleat, a hinge or a tie down point, are all installed with very strong backing plates, so we can make that kind of rugged reliability whilst the tender is still beautifully finished to guest standards. So what we've done is we've kept with that deep V hull architecture, but in these new range of tenders, we've really tried to extend the space in the bow, and we've achieved that really well. So you can see, you know, we have a massive amount of space up here, really big front seat. This particular tender doesn't have the U-berth seating options, but that is available. You can see up forward there, you know, we've got our drainable anchor locker and pop-up cleat there. As we walk through the tender, loads of good space, good handholds for walking around. We get up to our folding console arrangement here. This tender's been built around, it's obviously the SOLAS rescue tender, it's the crew services tender, and it's also the water sports tender. We do build this tender in more of a guest spec with additional seating in the bow, but in this case, as this is part of a pair, the 7.2 beachlander tender is going to offer the kind of more guest services tender in this case. So very much was a kind of a water sports requirement on this tender. So we've got a really good platform at the back, integrated ladder, and here you can slot in a removable ski pole or your carbon light pole. From an engine and propulsion perspective, we offer either Volvo or Yanmar when it comes to the engine, and from a jet perspective, either Hamilton or Alamarin. Obviously both have different characteristics and different weights, so that's something we can discuss with you and make sure that we build that tender to meet with your specific requirements. So if you'd like any more information on this tender or any of the other tenders in our range, please don't hesitate to get in touch.